Salute to you all, the brave never fall. We're talking about lessons today, and lessons are what shape who we are. When we learn a lesson, especially coming out of a really bad situation, it can bring a smile to your face and it can bring joy into your heart because you know you've overcome a very, very dark storm. And we've been talking about some very dark material here over the last few longer podcasts, talking about the Revenant coming back from, quote unquote, the proverbial dead of your past, and talking about untrustworthy people and finding that trust in yourself. If you didn't see those podcasts, I'll put a link in the description below. Feel free to go and check those out. They go hand in hand with these. They weren't necessarily a series, but they go hand in hand. A lot of these things, mindset wise, when people ask what is going through your mind, how do you get to be where you are when you like to help people like I do, and I have helped quite a few people, and which led me to this course of knowing that I could help people through my experiences and how I got through things. People often reminded me, well, how'd you do it? And I had to sit down and really think about how did I do it? And what I came back to every single time was what was the lessons I learned from everything that happened in my life, everything that happened in my life, not skipping over the things that I didn't want to revisit and not running from the things that I were afraid of, but revisiting these things in a way where they're revisited as if I'm examining someone else, where I'm putting myself on the back burner for a second and saying, okay, let's examine you fully. Your ego is going to be taken out of the equation. You're going to go into this as an exercise that is not in futility, but in fertility, where you are going to grow. You're going to grow from this exercise, and you learn these lessons from within. And again, check the link in the description of some of the last few that are the longer podcasts that go right along with this one. And this is kind of the cap on this little quote unquote series that I've been doing, and everything that's involved with this little series, again, I'll put in the description below. On to the lessons. I state this with complete confidence when I say to people, what lessons have you learned in life? Anyone can answer that question. It is not built on a foundation of right or wrong. Positivity, negativity is built on a simple core question. What lessons have you learned from life? And you just let that sink in. Try to go deep, deep, deep inside of your brain and think about all the emotions you felt through some of your darkest moments. What was the pain you felt through some of your darkest moments? How did it make you feel? How did it feel when you felt people were judging you? How deep was the hurt and pain in your heart when you felt abandoned by the people you trusted most? How good did those tears of joy feel when you overcame something you never believed you could? When was the moment you knew you mattered and had purpose in this world? Lessons. Life is full of lessons. We learn these lessons starting from the moment we open our eyes every morning. Like ticker tape on a screen, watching a television when you're getting all the news updates. You're going to learn lessons every single day. You can choose to read that ticker tape, or you can choose to change the channel, or you can choose to turn off the TV entirely and walk away. Those are all choices made by an individual, which is you. The good thing about it is you can always return to that television and turn that TV back on and read that ticker tape and see what's going on in the world. That's up for you to decide. Some people need to read that ticker tape. Some people don't. They can get through each day by going outside and observing what's before them, taking in the energy, accepting the connection of the world, and moving forward with the purpose they found in themselves. But too often we meet people who have not found that purpose yet. And those people are the ones that need help desperately from other people. We talked about the difference between support and help in the Trustworthy episode. Help and support are two different things, and people's definition of help can be skewed. Like an incline, you're skating uphill when you're asking people for help and you really are not ready to receive it. Too often people do this. They'll walk up to somebody and they'll say, I need help. And after you help them, they walk away and you realize these people have learned nothing. They got what they wanted in the moment. They had a transaction where they benefited from it the most and got nothing out of it. So that other person, if they're feeling that way, they'll feel as if you robbed a little bit of them and took it along your way. But not only did you rob it, you went and spent the money on absolutely nothing. You didn't keep the gift. You didn't accept the reward of help. You didn't cherish that moment enough to know that somebody helped you and you learned absolutely nothing. Okay, maybe that happened once. Maybe it happened twice, but we know that that's a pattern, right? These patterns are going to keep rolling. And again, just like an ice skater skating uphill in a snowstorm and freezing rain is on the horizon, these people don't stop. They keep thinking they're going to get up that hill. Instead of saying, I need to look around for not an easier route, a smarter route. How do you get to a smarter route? In some ways, you're accepting the fact that you're on a path of failure. Imminent failure. And there's going to be lessons along the way, whether you make it up that hill or not. Odds are, if you're skating uphill in a snowstorm and sleet and rain are on the horizon above you, you're probably not going to make it up that hill. So why even attempt it, some would say? Well, it's a simple answer. People attempt things if they don't already know the answer, and they have belief in themselves when they shouldn't. These are people who are overly confident. This is when people say, what they used to say, the alpha male, this is something they would do. They're going to bulldoze themselves up that hill and they're going to accomplish it no matter what. As an alpha male myself, I can tell you that that's not the case. I think being smart and not just thinking about an alpha male as some big arrogant monster. Being an alpha male also includes the brain, and we know that's a dumb way to go up that hill. Let's be patient. Wait for the storm to pass, then climb the hill. Some would say, well, what if it's a long, long storm? That's a risk you have to take then. At that moment, you can choose to wait to let the storm pass, or you can find another path. But any path up a hill, any struggle is going to take time. You can sit and wait for a lull where the storm will calm just for a moment to get you further up the hill, and you may have to stop again. Storm comes, keep going. You're going to place markers in case you keep going backwards, you can get back to your spot. And not only that, you can help the people behind you, because they're going to look up and say, how did he get up on that hill? How did she make it up that far? And you can scream down to them everything you learned. Now, at that point in time, the people down at the bottom of the hill are either going to make a decision. They're going to take in what you just told them, and they're going to make their decision. Or they're going to go up how you went, or they're going to go up the way we started this journey by, no matter what, even through the storm, they're going to keep trying to go up this hill with no plan of attack, no outcome, nothing. They're just wishing and hoping and trying and believing in something that's not there, when they can just simply look at the people who've already made it and learn the lessons that they have already learned before them. That's the whole point of passing the torch down to to the next generation from the generation we are now. We all say we want the best for our children, right? There's no difference than when you're helping someone. And I think when you're helping people, like I said, too often people are eager to accept the help without learning the lesson. Now, we're not talking about learning things. Sometimes I think that's half the problem, is that the lesson is not that you learn exactly what you did. If you're not good at whatever you need help with, or you just physically, mentally are not capable of doing it, that's one thing. What we mean by that is you're not taking that help for granted. The lesson is there. The lesson is somebody helped you. You didn't know something and someone took time out of their lives to help you. You have other people say, well, they're supposed to help me. And in a lot of cases, that's true. Just keep that in mind when they need your help. When they need your understanding and your patience, you have to have that same mindset. You can't just turn it off when it's time for you to perform and to act for these people. And you have to know something that these people don't know. There's some knowledge within yourself, something you can help them with that they don't know. You should be patient with them as they are patient with you. That's help. That's learning lessons. That's the lesson from helping someone. There's a lesson in everything. The people who refuse to take in the lessons are the ones who will remain ignorant for the rest of their lives. They're refusing the knowledge they're getting from every situation. And it's not just about help. It's also about putting themselves through something that's going to make them learn something about themselves. Lessons come in all different forms. And when someone asks me, well, how did you become a marathon runner when I used to hate running? I can tell you right now, I love running, but not for the reasons people think. I love running because it's hard. I love running because most of the time I don't feel like doing it. I love to exercise because a lot of times I don't feel like doing it. I love making my diet be something that is sustainable to the point where I know it's beneficial to me, even though I wish I could have all these different types of comfort foods and snacking all the time. I wish I could do that. But I've learned my lesson from that. And I know where it gets me, and it makes you unhealthy. I've never been healthier since I made the decision to not eat all that stuff. It's a sacrifice you're making for your comfortable version of yourself. Your future version of yourself, if you could meet them in the future, is gonna tell you, what were you thinking? Look what you've done to me. Look what you've done to yourself. If you don't think about your future, it's what's going to make you not take in the lessons you should be taking in. It's a very hard concept to think about, because I know a lot of people, and I did this when I was younger, is that I just got through stuff the best way I could. If I could forget what I just got through, then great. That's one less thing I got to worry about. And the older you get and you realize that, yes, people have to help you at a certain age in your life, but it will come a point in time where people don't have to help you anymore. And you're on your own, and you need to know how to do things on your own. We're not talking about things that you can go and pay somebody to do. If you're not good at something, that's why we have businesses and to do things like, if you're not a good cook, you can always go to a restaurant. If you're not a mechanic, you can take it to an auto shop. If you're not a doctor, you go to the doctor. There's certain things you can't do. We're talking about the things that you can do, not so much physically, but mentally. Things you can overcome yourself with some effort. The people who walk up to you with their hands out and they always want money, those people have options. Capable people. We're not talking about people who physically can't do it. If you have a mental disability or you're physically unable to work, that's understandable. Again, with the Brave Never Fall, we're talking about capable people who have built in excuses to their lifestyles and their routines and their patterns to justify not having what they claim they want. They haven't learned the lessons of life, and a lot of times these people have not been tested enough to learn a lesson in general. Just think about this. When you graduate high school, or if you even drop out of high school at any age, are you more beneficial to keep learning in school or out of school than not? When the lessons of school go away, what lessons are you learning at that point? This is the debate where people say, when I go to college, I don't have to. What's the point of going to college? Because I'm not going to learn anything I'm going to use in life. And I guess that's true for certain people. But I also would say, you don't have to go to college to gain knowledge. You have to just want to be a better person and want to explore life to gain that knowledge. It's not always found in a textbook. And I think the lessons of life, people think, okay, well, you have to learn some kind of a trade, or you have to learn some type of spoken word knowledge that an institution is given to you. Like, if you go to a church, they feel like, well, those are the lessons you're learning just from that church. And this school, this university only teaches you this. And this trade school only teaches you this trade. That's all that life is. Those are lessons we need to learn professionally, academic wise, spiritually. What about the life lessons, which is what we're talking about here? What lessons have you learned in life? And have they changed you enough where you actually feel like those lessons are a part of you just as much as your beating heart? That there are tattoos all through your body. Indelible ink all over your body. How do you view life after you've learned a very, very hard lesson, one way or the other? Life-changing events and situations and people who come in and out of your life that have a very, very good or bad influence in your life. What did you take from that? How did you react? And has your life benefited from these things, or have they been torn in the opposite direction? Retrospect after any life-changing event, and a lot of times we don't know that they're life-changing when we're living them in the moment. We get through these moments and we're so relieved that they're over that we forget to learn the lessons from them. And we forget that the path doesn't end because you overcame a situation. It's just the beginning of another one. Another bad situation is brewing right now for you. Regardless, you're going to have to deal with it. It can come in a flash, or it can be a long, drawn-out process that you can see coming a mile away. And no matter what you do, you can't get off that path. You are going to face this issue. You're going to face this issue. And after a while, along my journey, I have started to realize looking at things in the moment is key for me. Being aware of who I am and how I'm doing things. What is my action in each moment? I learned that from Robert Downey Jr., and it's been one of the things I thought about a lot, and he vocalized it well. He was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and they were talking about acting, and he said, hey, I get through each scene by saying, what is my action in this moment? And it carries over from real life. There's no difference between my acting and real life. What is my action? My action in this moment is what? Through each step. And I always say you break everything down into its smallest components, and that's where the action comes into play, because you know what you're supposed to do, and you get through it 100%. There's no shortcuts. There's no excuses. What is your action? I'm doing this podcast right now because this is my action. I was meant to do this right now, and I'm going to finish it. And that's the mindset. That is the mindset. When you're getting through life and you start looking at every situation in the moment, you can apply an extra step. And that extra step for me is, not only am I in the moment, what is the potential for this situation on a longer scale? What am I buying with this action in this moment? Am I buying negativity or positivity? Am I buying neutrality? Am I buying a new friend in my life? Am I buying a new jettisoned friend in my life? A person that's toxic and I need to remove? What is my action? It's not only affecting me, it's affecting other people. Being conscious that your actions are affecting other people, you are a walking lesson to other people as well. There is another lesson people don't think about. It's not just about you. People are going to learn lessons about themselves from your actions. Think about that. Other people are going to learn a lot about themselves through your actions. Positively or negatively, it doesn't matter. Lessons will be learned from how you act and how you show up, how your presence is, what the essence of your soul is going to affect other people in your life. And you have to be conscious of that. What is your action? What are people taking from you when they interact with you? Are they taking negativity from you? Are they taking positivity from you? That's how we measure what value we want with people in our life. Do you want low value people in your life, or do you want high value people in your life? What are you learning from people? And this is how you can determine your own measure of self-love by the people you surround yourself with. People who are lost and don't know where their self-love is, I often tell them, who do you have surrounding you? Even if you're lost and you haven't gotten to self-love yet, those people around you will eventually get you there if they are living their lives through self-love and self-discipline. You surround yourself with the people that you want to be more like. That doesn't mean you want to always have these people, because people change. Sometimes you will surround yourself around people that you thought would be perfect for you, and then they start changing, or they weren't what they claimed to be in the first place. They were an illusion, a shell of themselves. They're unaware of who they are, or they're very aware of who they are, and they're just trying to take something from you. We talked about that in the trust episode. People's intentions will bleed into your life. People's outcomes will bleed into your life. How you perceive life, these people are perceiving it completely different. It's as if you guys are walking in two different dimensions. That's why a special connection is called special, because you feel like we're not only walking in the same dimension, we're walking damn near on the same path, which makes that connection very, very special. But the people who ignore that and they try to get things from people that they haven't earned, that's where you lead to the untrustworthy things, and that's where the lessons are learned. What happens after the people you trust are no longer the people you thought they were? What lesson are you going to learn from that? Or are you going to keep getting involved with the same type of person over and over and over again, and then wondering why you are so miserable, why you are still failing to have self-love? And that's because you will not, once you find self-love, even have to worry about getting into a pattern of toxic people, because you'll know when you see them, and even if and when they start changing. Again, you're living in the moment. What's your action in this moment is to determine whether or not this person is toxic for me, for myself, and for the people I care about around me. At that point in time, brave and bold kicks in, and you got to make a decision. The hardest decision is usually the right one. Those are the lessons. When you look back at it, after the moment has passed and you've taken action, how you feel afterwards, just like the questions we asked at the beginning of the podcast, how you feel afterwards, those are the lessons. The feelings that you felt that were great, you're going to hold on to those, because you're going to need those. You're going to need those for the joyful moments when things get down. You can remind yourself there is joy in this world, that there are happy tears, that your heart can be warmed up so much it feels like it's going to explode like a nuclear power plant, like a sun going supernova. Those nice warm feelings, they're there. You need to know that those feelings can happen for you. But you also need to know from the times that you were let down and disappointed and people turned into demons right behind your back and that big boulder came out of the sky and hit you in the back of the head when you weren't looking. You also need to know what that feels like. You need to know what it feels like for you to disappoint yourself. You need to know what it feels like for other people to disappoint you when you least expected it. Good thing about lessons is that this lesson is actually one of the lessons that are one of the easier lessons to learn in life, because it's just you thinking and taking in about how you feel in those moments where you knew there were life-changing moments for you and how you felt in those moments, and you can apply them to future moments. They're determined when you're in the moment, you can start seeing these things from afar. Some people live such comfortable lives, though, they don't often get the opportunity to explore these range of emotions. And then the people who come to me and say, I've had a very comfortable life, I don't know what's wrong with me, something's missing. And it's very simple. Something's missing because you haven't found what you're looking for. And the only way to find it is that you have to come out of your comfort zone, Mr. or Miss. You have to come out of your comfort zone. You have to go out and create. If life isn't going to bring it to you, go out and create those circumstances for yourself on minor levels. If you want to feel like you want to fill a void, go do something you never thought you would possibly do. It'll jolt all those emotions out of you. It'll get your brain working in a way you never thought possible. It'll get your emotions working in a way you never thought possible. There are certain things in life that you can do to push yourself. What are the things that frighten you? Go face them. Everybody's afraid of something. Face that fear. Face that fear. You'll learn a whole lot about yourself. The lessons are learned through overcoming misery and in developing yourself and embracing the joy that you can get from overcoming something. Joy is not always going to come just from the joyful moments. Joy also comes from the painful moments. When you've overcome something, when something happens to you and you know that it's so dark, it's so painful. How am I going to get out of this? So frustrating. And then all of a sudden, the sky clears. The light comes in between the trees. That sun starts to warm you up. And you realize, wow, just like the people at the bottom of the hill who are going to go up the hill, ice skating upwards, and not seeing that there's also beyond the snow, ice and sleet and all this worse obstacle than it is even at the bottom. Now, the people who have seen that clearing is going to come, they know when to create their moment and take advantage of that hill the proper way, of that mountain the proper way. They're going to reach that plateau and look down and say, I knew I could do it. I've been there before. I failed and learned my lessons from those failures. Although I had help from other people, I had to get up this mountain alone. No one carried me up here. I could be with a group of 1 million people. I still have to move my legs and get it into my mind that I can make it up this mountain. But we're not going to be stupid about it. We're not going to go through the hardest parts of the storm. We're going to have patience and understand what's going on in this situation. What is my action in this moment? If I take another step, am I going to go backwards or am I going to go forwards? Am I going to go up or am I going to go down? What is your action in the moment? It will determine what your lesson is. It will have a huge part to play in what your lesson is because it's your approach. It's how you're approaching any situation, how you're approaching any relationship. If you know there are things you're doing in a relationship that you can't fix in this present moment, you're not ready. If you know that there are certain things you can't do in your job that you can't overcome in the long term, again, you can see your action in the moment, but you also have to project what you're going to do in the future. That's called purpose. What is your purpose? Is your purpose to always fail? Or are you going to have a purpose that is filled with positivity, knowing no matter what, I'm going to overcome this. I'm not going to give up. Yes, it's hard. It's hard for me to see how I'm going to overcome this, but I'm going to keep going anyway. The people who are trying to go up that mountain, they're sliding backwards and falling and stumbling on at the base of the mountain. Eventually, they're going to get tired of that shit, and they're going to probably turn around and go home, or they're just going to stand there with their mouth open, drooling all over themselves, wondering how the other people keep managing to make progress. These people are blind. They're already looking at what's happening. But they're so blinded by the storm down at the base, they can't see that no storm lasts forever. No storm ever lasts forever. Except for that big red spot on Jupiter. That thing's been going on for a very long time. But in the microcosm of the solar system, the universe, I would say our solar system is relatively small and our existence is small. That red spot on Jupiter is a blink of an eye compared to the storms we have here as human beings. But I don't know how I got on that tangent, but that's just what I do sometimes. The point I'm making is no storm lasts forever. Even the big red spot on Jupiter, that big red spot on Jupiter is a massive storm. It eventually will go away. Knowing that no storm lasts forever will get you to the next step in your action. That next step will always be something that if you can frame it and pull it in your heart and say, okay, my next step, no matter what happened in this moment, I'm going to make the next step possible through positivity. There's my purpose for the next moment. Purpose doesn't always have to be 50 years in the future. Purpose can be the next hour. What is my purpose? Can I do this through self-love? Can I do this through self-discipline? Can I overcome my mind trying to overcome me in this moment? Shut out all the rest of the world. Right now, this is about me. How do I do this? And as we go into intermission, remember, everything and everyone in this world is connected. all the possibilities in life come from life lessons. There's a reason why people hire life coaches, because life is very difficult, and trying to categorize all the lessons you've learned in life can be a hard filing task, because you have a ton, just a whole warehouse full of lessons that were learned, lessons that were misinterpreted, lessons that could have been built upon, lessons that you put yourself in, lessons that you were reacting to, that you were thrust into by outside people and outside forces. That's what life is all about. That's the journey of life. That's the life that everyone's afraid of. Everyone's afraid of all those unseeable possibilities in life. They're afraid of all of those possible lessons that are going to come on the negative side. And they often forget that you will have your fair share of positive. You will have your fair share of great moments and great memories with great people. You're going to create not only the memories for yourself, but with other people. The lessons of life doesn't always have to mean hard. Often the lessons of life can prove to be difficult. You're going to learn a lot of things that come out of difficult situations, but that's what a challenge is. That's what life's all about. You being born was a difficult situation for your mother. No way around it. You were difficult to bring into this world. Life is about difficulty. When you pass away, that's going to be difficult for not only yourself, but for the people you leave behind. From the beginning to the end, life is difficult. You have to accept that. That realization will make you understand that you're no different than anyone else. Again, the nexus. We're all connected. You're not alone when it comes to people learning lessons through hardship. One of my favorite one of my favorite phrases ever is through hardships to the stars, per aspera ad astra in Latin. Through hardships to the stars. You look up at that night sky, it's beautiful. If you ever wanted to explore it, very difficult, very cold, very dark. Perception. Each lesson is perception. How do you perceive it goes a long way. People view negative outcomes sometimes as just that, negatives. And I have a simple rule. There is no such thing as a negative outcome. Even though it is, when you think about it, it is. But it's a mindset. I'm telling myself, what did I learn from this negative outcome? And if I can twist that negative outcome into a positive, was it really negative? Yeah, it sucked for that person to walk out of my life. Yeah, this is bullshit about my job. I can't believe this happened to my car. I can't believe my dog or cat died. I can't believe I got to relocate to another city. I can't believe I can only see my loved one once or twice a month because they're away at war, or they're away if they're doing anything that you can't see someone. That dream job that you want, but the people around you keep getting it. Right when you thought everything was going well, someone passed away. You planned a wedding and then they canceled it. This is what life is all about. You're not alone. Everybody's going through it. Your mindset and how you respond to it is what's going to separate you from some of these people who are taking each one of those outcomes and they're not learning anything from the outcomes. There are always some lesson to be learned from every single outcome. And it's easy for people to always say when things are great, look what happened. Yay. Now I'm happy. Now I can live life. And I'm thinking, I look at them and I'm thinking to myself, this is very temporary for you. You have to find happiness even when it's not there. You can't just only be happy when life is great, because life isn't great enough all the time for you to be that way. The special people are the ones where their life is shit and they're still smiling. They're still happy. They're still proud of who they are. They still have Steph Lum. That sounds like a guy who was born in a country that hasn't been invented yet. Steph Lum. They haven't enough self-love for themselves to find the joy in everything. Just like I screwed up that word. I could have edited that out and been like, you mumbling, bumbling fool. But I didn't. I kept it in there because I learned something. When I listen back on it, I'm going to think to myself, maybe you should think a little clearly when you're talking. But again, it's how you think of it. It's how you perceive every situation. When you're in a situation where things are really going bad, yeah, in the moment, that feels horrible. But again, in the moment, what's your action? If you can think even in that moment, things could be a lot worse. I'm still breathing. I still have my job. I still have my spouse. My dog or cat is still alive. Nobody significant has died. Everything's okay. I have an opportunity to just calm down in this bad moment. Or I could have an opportunity to walk away from this bad person. Or I can have the opportunity to walk away from this bad job. Regroup and figure out what my action is going forward. That should be enough to bring a smile to anyone's face because you still have options. There's so many people in this world who could never turn a negative into a positive because they have lost their opportunities to have the option of turning things into a positive. They've gone too far down the well of negativity. Again, we're talking about people who are willing to go out in this world and actually want to find their purpose and do challenging new things. They go out in the world and things start happening to them and then they fall down a well. They stand at the base of that mountain. Or they keep trying to go through that storm at the wrong time. Sometimes you have to take a step back and reevaluate everything and say, okay, that storm is a little bit too much for me to handle right now. What can I do right now while this storm passes and I have my moment? I can regroup. Let me get my energy back. Let me eat. Let me drink. Get rehydrated. Let me rest. Get some sleep. Think. Talk to the people around me that I trust. Let's get a plan of attack with this. Instead of just blindly going through something and expecting a positive result. You're creating a negative result when you're doing it like that. When you're impatient, you will always create a negative result when you're impatient. You will always create a negative result when you're not understanding. You will always create a negative result when you expect something out of a situation that is out of your control. You have to go forward when the time is right through patience, understanding, and knowing you create the positive moments. You create the positive moments. You have enough self-love to trust that that positive moment is going to come, and when the time is right, you take it. The people around you who believe that same thing as you are always going to be there. They're never going to go away. They have the same mindset. They're patient. They understand the goal. They know what's going on in the moment. They trust that the people who are going to be in their lives are going to be in their lives, and they're going to make it up this mountain together. When they get to that plateau, they're going to look side by side. The people who are willing to overcome this mountain and take their time and understand all the nuances and not get discouraged, and they're going to keep smiling through this thing. Trust me, that group is going to be a lot smaller when you reach that plateau than it was at the base of the bottom, where all them people down at the bottom, everybody started together. Large group. You get up to the plateau, there might be a handful of people up there with you. You've had to say goodbye to people up that hill, up that mountain. You've had to tell people life stories, and they say, okay, I got it. And then they go and they don't take any lessons from what you told them. You have people you trusted who took things from you and tried to keep going, and you found them stumbling and falling right back past you. You pick up the stuff that they took from you, and you just keep walking and saying, wow, told you so. Hate to be that person, but I told you so. But you have to trust that you can also get to that plateau and be the only one standing up there. Because often in life, sometimes you jettison. I keep saying that word, but that's what it is. Sometimes you have to just say goodbye to a bunch of people. You're really holding me back here. And I want to reach my purpose. My purpose is to be on the top of that plateau. You have to take every lesson you learned to get to that plateau and apply it positively. As much as positivity as you can get into your life through all these lessons, you have to do that. Meaning you have to turn a negative into a positive. Every single time, try to find an angle, even if it's the smallest little angle possible of positivity out of a negative situation, out of a negative person. Give them the opportunity. And that's another thing. It's giving yourself opportunities. We touched on it a little bit in the first segment. Giving yourself the opportunity to actually overcome something it's a big part in this, because you can prepare yourself for some of these situations that are going to come anyway. What is the point of living life if you're not going to be prepared for it? If you're just standing there waiting to get pushed around by life? Don't you want to be the type of person that's prepared for anything? Mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. You are prepared. Your armor is ready to go. That doesn't mean you have to wear it all the time. It just means it's there. It's ready for you to say, okay, it's time to go to battle. Let me put this armor on. And then you turn it off when you don't need it. You accept the fact that you're going to have days where you're up emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. And there's going to be days where you're down in the same regard. That doesn't mean you treat people differently. That doesn't mean you expect other people to treat you differently. You want consistency. You want people around you who see you as the model citizen of consistency. And you want people who do the same. You don't want to surround yourself with people who have no self-discipline, have no self-love. You can help these people, you can support them. But ultimately, if these people are refusing that help, they're taking advantage of your support, you jettison them. Why? Because people think that's so harsh. You're never saying that you'll never talk to these people again, or you never help them again. You're saying in the moment, your lesson to be learned here is that you need more help than you're willing to admit. So I'm going to go away and let you go find that help. When you're ready to come back and actually act like an adult and be a person who can talk and communicate and take in all the things of life that an adult who is claiming they want more out of their life, and they claim they have self-love, and they claim they're not selfish and manipulative, when you can display all that, then I'll have you back in my life, because I will not allow anyone in my life that's negative, toxic, and that's not invested in me as much as I'm invested in them. That's the right you have as a person with self-love. That's a right you have as a person who's on the search for not only purpose, but for happiness. You have a right to be happy in this world. You don't owe anything to anyone but yourself and the people who truly need you, like your children. Now, after they get to be an adult, that's a different story. We're talking about obligations here. We're talking about purpose. If you have a small child, of course you're obligated to take care of that child. You're the one who brought them into the world. But it's also your obligation to be making sure you're teaching these children life lessons. Things you've learned need to be passed on to them. There's no reason in the world they shouldn't be full of knowledge about things you failed at in life. And there's no reason in the world why these children of yours, who you brought in the world, should not have all the knowledge about all the things that you succeeded at and why you did it. Don't forget the whys. Make sure that they have a full life and they're challenging themselves, because that's what life is all about. You want to prepare them. Again, going back to the academic thing, it's good to learn about history and science and math. It's also good to learn about life. There's a world outside of those school walls, the church walls. There's a world that only that person is going to be in. And they don't know what they don't know. But the good thing about it is, if you are in the moment and you've learned all these lessons, you can pass it on and they will have a shot. Learning these lessons can develop into something that I feel has shaped me into the person I am. While I'm still searching to be a better person and still learning from all my flaws and my mistakes, I am also very comfortable in the fact that I don't have to be unhappy to do it. I can do it through joy by overcoming the things that aren't so joyful in the moment. I accept challenges every day in my life, and if I don't get them, I'll create them, because that's how you get through a full day and you earn your rest at night. You want to earn that sleep. You want to cut out as many excuses as possible, or at least cut down on them. You take each moment for what they are. You deal with only what you can control. Life is going to be out of control all around you. Again, there are people who are going to be influencing you one way or the other. It's how you react to it and the lessons you learn from them that's going to make you a better person. It's going to make you the type of person that can get through any situation. Then, my goodness, your brain and your mind and your mind will be so full of confidence that you can start treating that mind, which is already difficult enough and is telling you to do all the wrong things when you should be doing the right things. Now your mind is starting to become an ally to you because it's kind of giving up. It's saying, this person is just going to keep going forward anyway, so I'm going to stop trying so hard to make sure I try to psych this person out and get them to the comfortable side of life where there are no answers and lessons or challenges for this person to learn from. I just want them comfortable. I don't want them to think. I just want them to sit and chill. It's too much work to think. That's what your mind's telling you. You're letting all the other aspects of your life down when you just focus on one aspect. You have to be balanced. We've talked about that enough. Balance will help with the self-discipline and the self-love. But that outcome of the lessons you learn, those outcomes are what you're going to need going forward if you want positive relationships, if you want positive outcomes at work, at church. You're not going to get them if you don't learn anything. You're not going to get them if there's something that you're fundamentally upset about all the time and you don't face this thing. You're not learning the lesson. You're running from the lessons. You're running from the opportunity to become a better person by facing your fears, by accepting people in your life that are unique, special people, but you're afraid of them because you don't understand them. But yet you see something great in them, so you're drawn to these people, and you don't know what to do. And I tell people, when these people come into your life, they came into your life for a reason. Take advantage of them. Don't run from them. Be patient with them and understand what they're trying to bring into your world. They showed up for a reason. These are things that go along with the lessons. When you're at work and you see somebody else keep climbing the ladder, and you say, how did this person just keep getting these promotions? This person is pushing themselves. They're earning their sleep. They're not satisfied of being at the bottom. But at the same time, they're doing it very comfortably. It looks like they're not even breaking a sweat. It's because they're being patient. They know it's coming. There's no need to rush it. There's no need to rush what is going to be there. If you know it's going to happen, why rush it? And if you believe it's not going to happen, why rush it? There's no need to try to run to a positive outcome if you know it's always going to be there. And there's no need to run towards a negative outcome at all. There's no reason to. That's what the moment is all about. In Tao, we talk about flow. It's all about that flow. You look at the waves in the ocean. Even when there's a storm, they're still not in a rush. They may be out of control and they're moving all around, but that water is still coming in at a slow pace. It's nothing in this world is fast. Just look at all the canyons that were cut through by water. That's a very slow process. Look how many millions of years the dinosaurs was on this planet. That was a very slow evolutionary process. 10,000 years ago, there were cave people, Neanderthals, walking around this planet. 10,000 years ago. 3,000 years ago, the pyramids of Giza were built. 3,000 years ago. Time is one of the greatest lessons ever. Because time will teach you that through time and patience, you're going to gain strength. Each day, if you're looking at every moment of your life in a certain way, you're going to gain a certain amount of strength, especially when you start creating obstacles for yourself that you overcome, and they feel even greater because you initiated them. There wasn't a reaction to something that happened externally from people and situations. Things that you said, I'm going to go out and I'm going to go walk or run 3 miles today. I'm not going to have a full dinner. I'm going to eat a half a plate of dinner. I'm going to tell somebody that deserves it that they love them. I'm going to take it easy on my spouse today because this person is special and I really appreciate them in my life. And if they was to leave my life, no matter what I feel about this person, I know that they love me, and I'm gonna back off a little bit and not be so hard on them because I would want them to do that for me. I'm gonna go to work and I'm gonna shake the hand of that guy or gal who got that promotion that I felt like I got. I'm gonna have a conversation with them and see how they're doing this. I'm going to go to the people at the church and start saying, hey, maybe I need a little bit more help than I realized. I was being, dishonest with you guys. I'm not perfect. These are all things in life that you control in those moments. Those are all the positive outcomes that you create, because you're going back to that central idea of no one creates your happiness. No one creates your happiness. You create your happiness. You create your outcomes when you have the moment and the time to do it. There are always times to create. Even when the negative stuff that's external starts to come in and you feel like you're out of control, there are moments that are going to pop up in there. Again, what is your action in the moment? You can still create within external things happening to you that are out of your control. You can create things that are out of your control. You can create within things that are out of your control. It's by your decision making. What choices are you making? Your self-discipline, the self-love you have for yourself, that's your paintbrush of creation. In these moments of complete, uncontrollable situations that are coming at you, and these uncontrollable people that are coming at you, that boulder that's about to hit you in the back of the head when you're not looking. Once it hits you, decision-making time. What is my action in this moment? Time to start turning some negatives into a positive. Time to start understanding that this is going to be hard. And even though I'm going to turn these things and create these positives out of these negatives, I understand fully I'm about to go through hell. This hell may be for 2 days. This hell may be for 2 years. But I'm about to go through it. And I'm going to get through it because I've learned the lessons. I've already prepared myself through all these little situations I created for myself of hardship. I know I can get through anything. If I can create something to get through it, I definitely can get through something that was not created by me. Because whatever I create, I mentally overcame something to begin with to even get to that point. I'm not waiting for someone to tell me, be strong. I'm going to be strong on my own through creating situations that I'm going to get through with strength on my own. No more waiting around. No more waiting for people to tell you when to jump. No more looking up at that mountain with that storm and looking to side and waiting for everyone else to make the move first. I'm going to move when I'm ready to move. Because nobody knows me better than me. And through self-love, that's my stamp of approval for my action in the moment. My self-discipline is my path. Again, flowing like the water. I'm not in a hurry. Water can penetrate anything. I'm going to get through this storm. I know I will. There's no need for me to rush anything. There's no need for me to panic. There's no need for me to be afraid. The only thing I need to be afraid of are the negative choices I make in those situations. Letting myself down, not trusting myself, not having the belief in myself, and losing sight of my purpose. If there's anything to be afraid of in life, those should be the hard hitters. Those are the things that are going to make you, when you look back on those lessons, was it positive or was it negative, through my action or my lack of action. The people who stand still and do nothing, you will be rewarded nothing. The people who stand still and do nothing, you will not be gained any knowledge. You have to keep moving forward to get that knowledge. You have to be aware of all the special people around you. Truly be aware and understand them. And you also have to be aware and appreciative of all the other people around you that you're connected to and that you're interacting with. Because these people all have lessons, positive or negative. And you can observe and you can talk to these people and you can gain knowledge from whatever you feel as an individual will give you the most knowledge from talking to other people or from not talking to certain people. Again, it goes back to being an individual. What type of person are you? What do you want from your life? Are you learning from the lessons of life? From the uncontrollable lessons of life? The lessons you create for yourself? The decisions you make? What are you truly taking away from all this? How do you feel when life brings you a special person and you feel you are letting yourself down by not allowing that person to be who they are, and you want them to be something different because you feel a certain type of way? How does it feel when a certain person comes into your life and they're dragging you down and you realize it's time for me to break free and do what I got to do? I'm going to go up this mountain alone. Those moments when the storm's coming and you know you're alone. You have nothing to do but to trust yourself. You realize it's time. The moment is here. It's time to make that choice. It's time for me to go up this mountain. I want people to be along with me, but I need to know I can do it alone. And I'm going to. Right now, in this moment, my choice is to go up this mountain alone. The ones who want to be there with me, who believe in me and they know I believe in them, they'll be with me at the top of that plateau. And the ones who weren't, I'll never see them again because I'm not going back down that mountain. I'm not going back down. I'm staying up top. The other people who are around you, you guys will hold each other, shed tears of joy and happiness because you didn't have to go up that mountain together. You didn't have to go up the mountain alone. You didn't have to go at all. But you did. Those are the people you want around you. That's the situation you want out of life. And then you don't stop there. You realize there's another path and it's leading up another mountain. And you keep going. You keep gaining knowledge. You keep getting lessons from life. Regardless if you create it or not. And you keep the most special people out in this world with you. You distance yourself from all negative people. You put yourself first. It's not selfish to have self-love. You start with yourself. Hold other people accountable for what they do. Invest only in the people that are invested in you. Don't settle. Never settle. You're too valuable, too important, and too worth it. Trust in yourself first. Trust in others until they are no longer trustworthy, or you will make them untrustworthy. There are so many lessons in life that we can learn, but I tell everyone that I meet, the biggest lesson you can learn is the lesson of yourself. You got to learn yourself first. All the rest of it will fall into place because you will always feel that confidence within yourself to get through any situation, to keep the most special people in your life, and you'll always know through the lessons of life who those special people are, what those special situations are that you need to overcome, those challenges. You'll always know where your path is, and you'll always know when that storm is going to clear and when it's time to move and what your action is in that moment. And if no one has told you this today, I love you. You deserve to hear that. Salute to you all. The brave never fall.